What do you say when someone asks, "How are you?" Well, chances are you probably say, "Fine," regardless of how you're really doing. It's a kind of automatic social etiquette that we do. And usually a person who asks the question really isn't asking for, detailed personal information. And the person who responds knows that they probably aren't being asked for a rundown of their day or their week or even their life. It's kind of like an icebreaker exchange, which kind of begins the conversation. Of course, it can be a different thing when two good friends begin a conversation this way. In that case, it may be a genuine inquiry regarding each other's well-being. Saying "I'm fine" to someone's inquiry is not in itself a big deal, but it's a behavior which can point to a bigger issue for us in our dominant culture in our society, which can cause us some problems. We generally, in our culture, want to look good, don't we? We want to appear competent, confident, and unafraid and in control. That's the image we project. We dress for success. We spend hours making our resumes sound amazing. Companies that sell makeup and weight loss products and hair growth strategies make untold amounts of money. We buy into commercials that sell products that promise to make us look cool or hip or in, or whatever the modern term for that is these days. And if we're hurting or stressed or grieving or not feeling good for some reason, we feel we're supposed to buck up, pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, get over it, not whine about it. As we've all been told, no one likes a whiner. The trouble is that, none of us can live up to the image that we try so hard to project. We're not always confident and successful and perfect looking and in control. And as we spend, so much time and energy and money projecting the perfect image, we may fool ourselves as we're trying to fool others. We may start to believe the false image that we build, that we project. And this can cause us problems. It can prevent any genuine relationship with others, since honesty is what true relationships are built on. Many marriages fail because of the false images people project while dating. It doesn't take too long to discover who a person really is once you start living with them 24/7. Another danger is that when a person really believes the unreal persona they project, they'll eventually run into the wall of reality. They'll fail, or someone will expose their faults, or something else will happen to shatter the perfect image. Or the pain one is in becomes so great that it can no longer be contained or hidden. When that happens, then the person may just fall apart and find themselves in a heap of depression, self-loathing, or shame. Unfortunately, our dominant culture in our society reinforces this, quote, "fine" syndrome, as I call it. Companies generally want employees that are, quote, "fine," who do the work without complaint and without interruption. But reality often hits. Things like illness and childbirth tend to bring reality into the equation. And enough of these intrusions of reality will make an employee less desirable to many companies. Companies also tend to want employees who are, quote, "team players." There's nothing wrong with that, except that can be a euphemism for someone who doesn't rock the boat by being critical of the company when they see something wrong. That's why whistleblowers take great risks by speaking up and saying everything is not, quote, "fine." This dynamic is also at play when someone criticizes our country or government. They'll often be called unpatriotic for questioning the unreal image projected by the powers that be in the government. And if a person criticizes their religion for doing the same thing, projecting a perfect image, they are often labeled unfaithful. So how can we avoid the pitfalls of the, quote, fine dynamic? Well, I think it begins with a realistic understanding of reality that nothing and no one is perfect, and knowing that that is okay. Imperfection is a built-in aspect of everything and can't be eradicated. So imperfections like failure or flaws or doubt are normal and to be expected. And they don't signal that something is wrong with us. They just mean that we're human. It's also human to need help in carrying the load when life overwhelms us. It's not a weakness. It's human reality to need help. When we stop denying or avoiding our imperfections or our inability to go it alone, and stop projecting a false fine image, we're then free to deal appropriately with these things and not let them disrupt life. This is what true humility is all about. When we can be honest about who we are, warts and all, we can enter into better relationships with others. And when we can give ourselves a break regarding our own imperfections, we'll likely be able to give others a break also regarding theirs. And this can go a long way toward peaceful relationships across the board. True humility also enables us to better deal with organizations like companies or governments or religions. We can level constructive criticism when needed, while maintaining a genuine attitude of trying to help the organization become better. It enables us to do this with a minimum of animosity or adversarial attitude. One thing that helps us stay grounded in reality about who we really are and avoid a false persona is having one or two or three or however many trustworthy people we can be truly honest with and who can be truly honest with us. These can be friends, a therapist, a mentor, a pastor, or anybody really. We need such people to challenge us when we start to pretend we are something we aren't. They can help us stay anchored in reality when we would rather trade reality for a better looking or better sounding storyline. Again, there's nothing wrong with saying I'm fine when someone asks how we are, just as long as we recognize that those things that aren't, quote, fine with us, be honest with ourselves and others about them, and find ways to deal effectively with whatever those things are.